Why is the bourse down today?
Thank you very much. We actually saw some interest, but we noticed that the liquid level of funding in the market has been relatively low. I think that won't be far-fetched from the fact that the banks are approaching their year end, and we've not seen the liquidity that used to come largely from the banks come to the market at the moment. Primarily, I think the banks were the major losers today. Although we saw a few insurance stocks also doing well, quite a number of them also suffered major declines at the close of trading today. The market was down about 73 basis points. There was no information in terms of results have been announced by any banks, but we saw one or two forecasts by Cadbury at the close of trading today. By and large, I think it has to do more of the level of funding that comes to the market, which has been lacking for some time now.
All right, Olatunji, which banking stocks were down today?
In the market, First Bank was slightly down to about 25 kobo. Zenith was down. In fact, the big four banks, GT Bank, Zenith, First Bank and UBA were all closed lower today. The likes of Union Bank, Moshonic and Intercontinental also lost some value at the close of trading. BCC, CCNN, even the building materials, we saw CCNN and BCC also shed some value at the close of trading today. But I think we had so much losers today, considering the breadth of the market.
Well, First Bank was also down yesterday. What's going on with the bank?
Didn't get your question well.
First Bank, the stock was also down yesterday. Why are they showing such losses?
We've actually seen large volumes moving through First Bank. Even though the market, the level of the volumes going through the market has not been too high, we've actually seen First Bank being a major player in the market in recent times. If you look at it, over 20 million units of First Bank traded yesterday and also today. But at least we saw some support when it got to about 14 naira, as we saw a significant renewed interest in the market. I think the reason might not be far-fetched. We know that we had some leveraged buyers in First Bank when they did their public offering some 2 years ago. And if we go by what the CBN governor has been clamoring on, the banks should actually reduce the exposure to the equities market and, of course, try to recover as much loans as possible. Then I think it's only a normal thing for people that have used borrowed funds to buy equities in the market to start selling. There are interest in First Bank as well at the moment, but I think the moment we see the level of volumes going through First Bank, I think there might just be an upside to First Bank.
All right, let's take a look at Cadbury's results. First quarter results show about a 34% increase. What are the reasons behind that?
What came out today wasn't the result per se. I think it was the forecast for year 2010 first quarter, which ends by March. If Cadbury was a company that raised some equities in the market about a month or two ago, and of course they came out with a forecast. In the forecast, it was actually highlighted that they were going to have an exceptional loss of about 1.7 billion naira. And by the time the result came today, I think they've actually narrowed it down from 1.7 to about 1.1 billion naira. Going by the forecast, we are looking at about a net loss of about 800 million at the close of the quarter. And if we go by the assumption that they would have probably booked in the total exceptional item that we're expecting for the year, I think there are chances that Cadbury might just as well return back to profit-making ways by the end of the year 2010.
All right, so where's the growth coming from for Cadbury?
Of course, if you look at the way the results that are actually being released so far by most FMCGs, of which Cadbury is one of them, you notice that we've actually been experiencing some level of growth. They are in fast-moving consumer goods, and of course, you know that whether be the economy up or down, of course, people will definitely continue to consume on a daily basis. They are into beverages, they are into cocoa production and stuff, and of course, we expect the market to still remain relatively okay for these two sectors. We know that commodity prices have actually been on the rise, which is a major raw material for them, and of course, which they also export at some point, of course. And of course, we expect some level of profit to be actually come into their books in the coming financial year.
And just before we go, how do you expect the bourse to close this week?
We've actually seen the market come down yesterday and today. But from the look of things today, we actually saw renewed demand at the close of the market. Most of the banks were showing them net positive position in terms of demand compared to offers. And based on that, there are chances that we might still slide slightly tomorrow, but we expect some level of demand to actually return back to the market before the end of the week. By and large, we still expect some results of some some companies like the NBCs and then the flour mills to actually come into the market anytime from now. And from our expectation, if these companies actually do what we expect them to do, the chances are that we might see some positive developments in that regard. And based on that, we think the market should probably stop this downslide that we have actually seen yesterday and today, and probably return back to be on the uptrend towards the end of the week.